The N3 Toll Concession has urged motorists travelling along the busy route to be extra careful this weekend. A cold front in parts of the country has brought icy weather and misty conditions along the highway to KwaZulu Natal. High winds are also expected along the N3. Get you a live update now with Thania Dhoogra. She is the operations manager at the N3 Toll Concession company and joins us now live. Thania, very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for stopping along your route to give us this update. What are you hearing about the situation along the N3 this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Timbukile. Thank you for having me. Currently the situation on the N3 remains unchanged. It's overcast weather along much of the route. It's chilly weather, extremely cold. There's some areas of poor visibility, and it's wet in also along sections of the road. Still, the possibility of some icy conditions and the creation of black ice on the road surface. So once again, we're encouraging motorists to please exercise extreme caution whilst traveling on the route. Reduce their speed and increase their following distances, make sure they have their headlights on, and just be extra vigilant.
Yesterday, Friday, you guys were in fact encouraging people who are going to be traveling between the Free State, Gauteng and KZN to in fact try to travel during daylight because of what we saw this morning along from Greenland's Pass, where it was actually quite misty overnight.
Yeah. The Weather Services has revised their prediction. We were actually expecting snowfall yesterday and today, according to their prediction. That's been revised now, that there's no longer snowfall expected on the N3 toll route. But yes, with the wet and rainy conditions and the extreme cold and temperatures having the potential to drop rather rapidly, especially at night, that does, as I said, create the ideal conditions for the formation of black ice on the road surface, which creates very slippery conditions and really dangerous conditions for driving.
May have missed this, Thania, but now that the Weather Service has revised the earlier forecast for snowfall, how much longer are you likely to see the current conditions persist?
Well, according to the Weather Service's forecast, they were forecasting cold conditions for much of this weekend as the cold front hit the country. But obviously, they'll be revising and issuing updated forecasts throughout the course of the weekend as conditions change. They're monitoring it on a continuous basis.
And do the roadworks along that route, I'm thinking of the particular roadworks around the Bergville area, and I think somewhere close to the Tugela toll plaza also, some roadworks are ongoing. Does that then add to the situation as far as people having to drive slower and poor visibility in some instances?
Well, fortunately, all of our roadworks are fairly well marked. All the traffic accommodation is in place to clearly demarcate all of the roadworks areas. But yes, there's always the need for people to be extra cautious whenever they're driving, especially in inclement weather conditions. So once again, we're advising people, please travel, and preferably in daylight hours, especially if the weather's treacherous, where you can see clearly. If the conditions are unclear, visibility is really poor, rather stop in a place where it's safe to do so and wait until it becomes clear again for them to travel.
I don't know if you've been able to work this out yet, whether you're seeing as many people moving through there this weekend compared to others, for example.
Unfortunately not. We haven't assessed or analyzed our traffic stats yet at this stage.
Thania Dhoogra, good to speak to you. She's with the N3 Toll Concession. They're keeping an eye on that crucial highway between KZN, Gauteng and the Free State ahead of more bad weather that's expected throughout this weekend. Thania giving us an update there that the snow forecast has now been revised, but still icy conditions. There were issues with mist in the early hours of this morning, so if you are headed towards the N3, make use of these daylight hours to begin your journey.